Have you ever considered what made Babe Ruth such an amazing hitter? It wasn't his nutrition. It wasn't his strength and conditioning. That didn't actually happen much in the 1920s. It was his senses. Babe could perceive the world and react to it 10 to 20% faster than the average person. And so for Babe, that meant a 90-mile-an-hour ball looked like it was going 75. And in baseball, that makes all the difference in the world. Athletes, on the whole, are better at sensory performance. Whether they were trained or had that inherent ability, they were better. And with the rise of human performance, the senses are becoming a dominant skill people want to train, and athletes need to have really strong senses in order to compete at the highest levels. The problem that Synaptic is addressing is that an inability to react, to see, to respond quickly to the world around you will actually cause you potentially to lose that game, to lose that championship. And so at Synaptic, we put together a team to help address this problem. Because you could lose fans, you could lose sales, you could lose players, you could lose team value if your team isn't performing, your athletes aren't performing at the highest levels. I want to introduce this team very quickly, not everyone. Myself, my name is Joe Bingold. My background is engineering. I went to MIT, studied electrical engineering, later got a master's in mechanical engineering, worked for the Navy for 8 years in the design and development of control systems for the nuclear power plants on aircraft carriers and submarines. After that, went to Stanford, got my MBA. At Stanford, co-founded a company called Blue River Technology. It's in a different space. It's in agriculture, using machine vision to eliminate weeds. Kind of cool, but decided to go ahead and start this other thing. So joined up with Herb. Herb has 13 years in Nike, actually developing the kind of technology that we deploy. Prior to that, he was at University of Michigan, did his biomechanics education, undergrad and graduate work. And his name is on 25 patents around this sort of technology. He's worked with elite athletes all over the world. Also on our team, we have a 21-year Navy SEAL, does a lot of operations and performance leadership. We have a doctorate at UNC who does brain research. And one of our advisors is one of the world's best experts in sports vision. So really solid team to bring this technology to market. We put together our solution. The solution is really the only closed-loop sensory performance solution on the planet. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to walk you through each step of our solution so you get a feel for what we're all about. First, we start with an assessment. We need to assess your senses. Now, assessment's kind of challenging because I could tell you I run a 4-minute mile, and you're like, okay, that guy runs fast. But if I told you I had 50 arc seconds of depth perception, you're like, what's an arc second? How does that relate? What does that mean? And so we have to assess all these things, and then we have to compare you. So we start with the assessment. The assessments run on what we call our sensory station. You see it here? This station will assess you on 10 parameters of your vision system. Your senses, your reaction time, your near-far quickness, how fast you can dart your eyes. Things that are very important and critical to success in sport. This video I'm going to show you next is Jacoby Ellsbury, the Yankees, doing an eye-hand coordination sort of assessment. For reference, he's hitting about 88 targets in 30 seconds. After that, we do an assessment. Now we have to analyze. I can give you all the raw numbers, but the raw numbers don't mean a lot unless they're compared to something. We have normative data to compare those raw numbers to so you know how you stack up to your competition. The next video I'm going to show you is one of our customers who is actually an optometrist in the Central Valley, how he ran an assessment on one of his athletes, and he's describing how he can interpret the results from that assessment.
Hey, what's up guys? Dr. D over here at the Midtown Vision Development Center. We just did an assessment for a recreational boxer, middleweight division, and this is actually his sports vision performance map. And it shows that he's doing really great on this side of the plot map, but he has a lot of opportunity over here for contrast sensitivity. He's 13th percentile for depth perception, near far quickness 28th percentile, 35% for target capture. So we're going to work on that. And definitely reaction time. You have 13th percentile for reaction time. So it shows from here we can actually improve from 0% to 100%. The ultimate goal for every single athlete that we assess is, of course, to be at the most outermost ring that shows 100% performance.
All right, so Dr. D uses our system quite a bit. And the analytics he's comparing against for all this is compared against other boxers, because that's his sport. That's who he has to be compared to. So our normative database includes all those folks. We have people from youth all the way up to pro sports and all the different levels and positions. And every day we add more and more data as people using our system profile their athletes. We see strengths. What are your areas you're strong in your sport? That could be actually something you take advantage of. You didn't know you were really strong here. Well, now you do. So why don't you take advantage of that in the way we play that athlete? Or areas of improvement. If you want to get on par with your competition, here's the areas you need to improve to compete at their level. We also have a training plan. This system will automatically generate a plan for how you can improve the areas that you're the weakest. And that's important because sports vision is new. And so having that plan already at the ready is good for you, good for your athletes. And finally, it's founded on scientific principles. We didn't invent any of this. All these measurements have actually been around for decades. It's just they've been in an analog form factor. Now they've been digitized, put into a statistical database, and so it's the normative data that really makes them powerful and brings life to what we assess. All right, finally, improve. You know, you can assess, you can analyze, but if you can't make someone better, why bother? Why tell them where they're at if you can't make them better? So one thing we like to do is improve, and hands down, the best improvement tool for sports vision and sensory performance are strobe eyewear. You may have seen these before, put against this white background here. You can see the lenses are strobing. And what this is resistance training for your brain. If you want to make your muscles stronger, you take a weight and you pump it, and your muscle overcomes that resistance and gets stronger. Same principle applies to your brain. If you want to see in greater detail, if you want to see quicker, you actually put these on and you practice your sport while wearing these goggles. And what it does is it limits the amount of data going to your brain. So your brain has to overcome that resistance and get faster and see things in greater detail. So you take them off after wearing them and you actually see the world moving slower. You can make decisions quicker, you're more accurate in your response. There's also a nice recency effect. So if you wear this before warming up, you'll hit better, you'll catch better. I'll show you now a video of the Padres and how they describe using the strobe eyewear.
Yeah, so basically the glasses, we got the idea from watching Steph Curry do some basketball drills in the offseason. He does drills where he dribbles a tennis ball and a basketball at the same time, and he puts the glasses on, and they're basically strobe glasses, so they basically blind clear, and you can set to different speeds of how blinding it is, and the slower it is, the harder it is, just because you see for less time. Honestly, it's one of the few drills I've ever done that when you put the glasses on, like, you actually slow the game down. I think the more drills that we can apply like that to, you know, call them failure drills you're supposed to suck at, and then over time you start getting good at them, and then you see a live pitch from, you know, a guy as nasty as maybe Tyson Ross. Maybe that sinker isn't quite as hard to catch because you've been doing certain drills that test your reactions, I guess, in a similar way.
I apologize to people in the back who didn't hear that last one. He was basically saying, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. In a nutshell. All right, so proof. You know, what's the proof that this actually works? What's the proof that this company's viable? And I think you heard on the panel earlier, you know, we want to see traction. So traction is important. Yes, cash flow positive, things are going well in that sense. We do have elite teams, we have elite organizations using our product. And you know, this isn't giveaway product. We don't ever give away, we sell. So people are paying money to do this. We have performance centers. We have you know, elite teams. We have the military, a military contract to train elite forces. So a lot of different people are using this technology, and we continue to grow in that space. Players are advocating it. You have a great quote here from Joe Mauer. He had suffered a concussion last season, and he was looking for some tools to help with his vision to rehabilitate. Use the strobe eyewear. Not only did he find it useful for that purpose, but he also now says this is a great training tool, and I'm incorporating it into my regular training routine. So really good quotes from our folks who are using the technology. And as a company, we have really strong advantages that will keep us in a leadership position for sensory performance. We have the established techniques, which known for decades, but we're the ones to digitize it. Third-party research using our technology, several published papers that say, yeah, it does what it's supposed to do. In fact, it helps athletes. And we have You go to our website, you can download journal articles and see all that. Nice thing about it is it's easy to incorporate into your existing drills. Athletes are so busy, they don't have extra minutes in their day to do more training. But you put these on while you're doing your existing drills. Why not learn your drill and also get some sensory enhancement along the way? And finally, we're the only company with that comprehensive normative database to be able to tell you how your senses stack up to your competition and show you where you can improve. Very strong position. 20+ patents covering this technology to boot, so the methodology, the tools themselves are well patented. So we're really in a strong position to address this market. But I want to talk to you about how I'm going to take a good company to make it a great company. That's really what we want to do, is a great win here. And this is Synaptic 2.0. Today we address elite organizations, professionals like that, but how about little Timmy, who wants to be a pro player one day? Or how about just the average Joe, like me, who wants to understand how my senses are and how good are my sensory performance and how do I make it better, right? This is a sensory station, but you're not going to find that in little Timmy's living room. But one thing we did is we built this on an Android platform. So this is running on Android right now, which means it's very much extensible into an app environment. And that's Synaptic 2.0. It's going to be an app in Play Store, iTunes. It won't be as capable as this, but it will have functionality to be able to assess your senses. The nice thing about it is we're going to be able to have a freemium software model, which is very appropriate for app stores. Get something for free, but then add on more, buy more if you're so inclined. You can compare it to your favorite sports athlete, and also you can start paying for additional training or modules that are in the app. So that's where we're migrating as a company in our next phase of development for product. And the ask today is a company that wants to partner with us. This is really what we want, is a partner to bring this to the masses. And I'll tell you what we'll bring to the table, what our ideal partner will bring to the table, and then what's the benefit for that partner. What we bring to the table: product, clearly. Expertise, the database, and commitment. I mean, commitment's so important. I wake up every morning, I'm thinking about sensory performance. It's what I do all day long, every day. And our company is all designed around sensory performance. So we're committed to this space, continue to grow here, we'll win here. What does our partner bring to the table? Brand. Probably before this event, none of you heard the name Synaptic. And that's because we know we're a young company. And so a brand is really important when you get into the consumer space. Also, that national exposure comes along with the brand. Finally, social media expertise, being able to get into that social media environment where then you're a click away from an app, click away from a download. What do you get? You get tied to the frontier of human performance. And I want to take a step back to describe what that means. You go back to the 50s and the 60s, and athletes, even elite athletes, weren't doing strength and conditioning training. It wasn't until the 60s and 70s you have all these companies putting online exercise equipment. And then all these service providers and strength conditioning coaches training us how to use it. And now any athlete worth their salt is doing strength and conditioning of some sort. And oh, by the way, it's in gyms everywhere. And it's a $70 billion industry that we all get access to improve our strength and our conditioning. A couple decades later, you have nutrition. People weren't paying attention to what they were eating, what they're putting in their body. Like, well, wait, that matters. Our performance can be affected by what we put in our body. And so now you had a whole slew of companies providing nutrition supplements and different ways to handle nutrition, and trainers and all that, how to properly eat and knowledge on that. And that has now burgeoned into a huge industry. Well, the next phase, we've got our bodies, we've got our nutrition, is our senses. Sensory performance will become as commonplace as strength and conditioning equipment in time. And this is the beginning of it. So as a company, if you're thinking about, wow, what would I look like if I'd been at the beginnings of strength conditioning or been in the epicenter of nutrition? Well, here's the opportunity for sensory performance. And that's what we're looking for in a partner who values that and wants to become the brand, the epicenter of sensory performance in this rise of human performance. So, if you have any ideas of people you know who want to work with me, work with our company, there's my contact information. If you personally want to work with me, there's my contact information. If you just want to say, hi Joe, there's my contact information. Please feel free, reach out anytime. Love to reach out and talk with you. And afterwards, happy to give you a demo of our technology here on the Sensory Station. Thanks for your time.